How we doing, Xbox gamers? Welcome back to another top 5 video, and in today's video I'll be going through the top 5 best cooling stands you can get for your Series X console. Now, if any of you are new here guys, or if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe and turn that notification bell on so you never ever miss any great content like this. Remember guys, every Tuesday a new top 5 video drops, and every Friday a new news and talks videos drop, so you don't want to miss that guys. So make sure you've got that notification bell on. And now let's get straight into today's video. Now, coming in at my number 1 spot for today guys is a YUANHOT vertical cooling stand. Now this cooling stand is in my number 1 spot for today just because of the sleek design and the space saving it has on all your Xbox accessories. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because it can charge and hold up to 2 controllers basically while charging. The battery amps are 114,000 amps, basically charging at that rate, which is alright, but it's still really good for what you're getting. You also get 2 USB charging ports. Basically you can plug in your smartphone while you're gaming and charge that while you're gaming, or even plug a play and charge kit through that and it'll charge it completely, which I think is a great idea. Basically on the back it's got a little cooling fan, so it produces cool air obviously as well to keep the console nice and cool while you're gaming, and it has been known to do the job quite well, even though it's got all these extra accessories, which is pretty over the top, but I personally like it just because of the space you'll be saving. It's also got a little headset, little spot at the back where you can put a spare headset or your headset after your game as well, which I think is pretty cool. The only real con about this cooling stand is that if you plug a external hard drive into that USB port, it will not transfer the data over to your console, which is the biggest letdown. But also its price is pretty reasonable. It's around $95 on Amazon currently, on sale currently for this festive season guys. So if you're interested in checking that out, links will be in the description below. But that is the reason why it's in my number 1 spot for today. Now let's move on to the number 2. Now coming in at my number 2 spot guys is the FYOUNG Store's vertical cooling stand. Now this one is in my number 2 spot is because it can also manage the Xbox Series S as well as the X. Now another great thing about this is it also comes with 2 charging stations for your controllers, so while you're gaming you can charge another controller up so you don't have to worry about obviously a controller dying. Now this cooling fan can run up to 3000 RPM, which is basically the standard to basically cool a CPU in a normal PC, which is quite damn amazing for this cooling stand specifically. It's obviously going to eliminate that heat and throw out and eject all that heat out to make sure your console can keep running very cool without having to worry about obviously overheating and obviously crashing games just because of the overheating issues sometimes with the Xboxes. Now this also comes with LED indicators when you're charging your controllers, as well as 7 different colors. You can change the LED little light around the charging station itself, and also it comes with 3 USB ports so you can charge things while gaming, which I think is pretty damn cool because you'll be able to charge smartphones or even just have a plain charge kit as well. Basically the only downside about this specifically is it has slow charging, so if you're going to be charging things on the USB ports or just charging the controllers on the charging stands, they will charge slowly. But if this doesn't really affect you, if you're going to obviously charge them while you're not gaming, this probably will just provide you just that little buffer when you're going to play next. But that is the only downside. Now let's move on to my number 3 cooling stand. Now coming in at my number 3 spot for today guys is the MENEEA Store's cooling fan for the Xbox Series X. Now the reason why it is in my number 3 spot for today is because it's a detachable design, and basically it's a dust proof cooling fan, and one of the only ones I've ever seen that come with little dust proof little stickers you can stick over the fans on your Xbox Series X. Now the reason why it's in my number 3 spot for today is because you can choose between 3 different fan speeds, which you can choose from 1800 RPM, 2000 RPM and 2200 RPM. Now those are the 3 speeds you can choose from in order to get the right cooling fan speed for your Xbox to remain cool while you're gaming, which I think is pretty cool. You can pick these up for about $115 on Amazon. They have a great background history and have great reviews backing them as well. It has also good USB support as well. Basically it has a transferring USB, so you can basically put in a hard drive in that location since you're basically losing a USB port to this, which I think is good that they're replacing it with a little transfer USB port, so it transfers all your external hard drive information through that into your Xbox console, which I think is pretty good. It also comes with a little bonus charging USB port as well. It basically has it also labeled on the little basically device as well, which I think's pretty cool. Other than that, it's a great device. The only con about it is that it's noisy, and obviously it's going to be distracting while you're gaming. But if you want to keep your Xbox nice and cool, it's going to do the job right for you. It's going to help your Xbox remain cool. You're going to be able to choose between the different modes, and obviously it's going to be noisy, but that's the only letdown about it. But that basically sums up why it's in my number 3 spot. Now let's move on to the number 4 spot. Now, coming in at my number 4 spot for today, guys, is the G-Story Cooling Fan. Now, the reason why it's in my number 4 spot for today is because it is a little compact design that just basically plugs onto the top of your Xbox console. Now, this is another cooling fan that comes with dust-proof little things you can stick on the back fans on the Series X, which I think is pretty cool. You can pick these up for about $72 on Amazon. Remember, guys, links will be in the description below. Now, basically, this comes with a little temperature indicator telling you the temperature of the Xbox itself, which I have not ever seen on a cooling fan device for any Xbox console. Now, I think that's pretty cool. It basically automatically adjusts the temperature it needs to be in order to keep your Xbox nice and cool while you're gaming, as well as just to adjust it if it needs to be a lot more hotter than colder. It also has a manual mode, so you're not stuck to a specific cooling mode or like an automatic mode. You can choose the specific temperature you want it to be, which I think is pretty cool. So if you want it to always be on 50 degrees, then you can, but obviously I don't think that'll be good for it. But you know, it depends on what you want to do with the temperature. Personally, for me, it would have the automatic temperature going, but I think it's great. It's also very quiet. It's not really noisy at all, which I think is great. The only annoying thing is just the bright little LED indicator that tells you the temperature. It's very, very bright, but other than that, it's not a letdown at all for what this cooling fan can provide. It doesn't have any information on what it can do, but obviously you can choose the temperature, which obviously is a great indicator that it's going to do the job. It's going to provide the right temperatures to your console, so it can keep your Xbox nice and cool and not have any game crashes or any stuff ups while you're gaming. It's going to help keep your Xbox longevity last longer overall. Now let's move on to the 5th and final spot for today's video, guys. Now, coming in the 5th and final spot for today's video, guys, is the RGEEK Cooling Fan. Now, the reason why it's in my number 5 spot is because it's the most cheapest cooling fan and the most reliable cooling fan currently on the market. Obviously, it's not as good as the other ones were, but basically it comes for around $50 as a mixed prices. You can find it for $45 on different websites. I couldn't really find it on Amazon, but they did have it on there for a while for probably about $50. But obviously, it's on eBay for $45 was the lowest price I could find it for. But basically, it's in my number 5 spot is because it's affordable and it's good value for its money. It basically provides a cooling fan speed of 3,000 to 5,300 RPM, which is pretty damn good for the price of what you're paying for. It's definitely going to keep your Xbox nice and cool while you're gaming and provide those optimal temperatures so it doesn't overheat and crash games while you're in intensive gaming moments or important gaming moments, which I think is great as well. It's obviously got a basic design, which is basically the biggest letdown of it. It also comes with 3 USB ports, which also helps it bring it back up and support the reason why it's in my number 5 spot. They're basically little charging stations where you can just plug USB in and charge it while you're gaming, which is another thing it can only support, unfortunately. But other than that, it's a great cooling fan. It's going to do the job. It's just a cheaper alternative that you don't have to fork out $100 for. But if you're looking for something very good this festive season, I'd suggest the other 4 above if you want something more and something better for your money. But that pretty much wraps up today's top 5 video, guys, on the best top 5 cooling fans you can get for your Series X currently on the market in 2023. And if you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on if you haven't already. Remember, guys, every single Tuesday a new top 5 video drops, and every single Friday a new news and talks videos drops. You're not going to want to miss any great content like that, guys, so make sure you've got that notification bell on, because, guys, I really enjoy doing this. I'm really passionate about this. But make sure you let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below on what you thought of my list and what I could have improved in my list and what you thought was missing from this list. Make sure you let me know down in the comment section below, as well as any questions or queries, and I'll catch you all in the next video.